Do you want to be an author, screenwriter, or both? Hi, I'm Tony B. Richard, and if you're considering either, I have some good information for you. 5 years ago, I had a dream to write a TV series. I did my research and quickly discovered that the best path to Hollywood often starts with a published book. So I decided to write the book first. I wrote 6 interconnected stories about different people making first contact with aliens. And through trial and error and lots of rewriting, I learned some things I want to share with you today. First, pick one point of view. My early drafts were a mess of what writers call head hopping, jumping between every character's thoughts. My critique group set me straight. Readers need an anchor. By the way, other authors are your best source of feedback. Readers need to experience the story through specific eyes. They need to feel like they are that character. This forced me to show the thoughts and emotions of the other characters through their actions and dialogue. Second, screenplays have no thoughts. When I submitted my first screenplay to a contest, I put the characters' thoughts as voiceovers, but then I got the feedback that it's not acceptable. No internal thoughts, just actions and dialogue. But how do you reveal what characters are thinking without speaking their thoughts? My solution? I created a sidekick, a character that my main character could confide in and argue with. Plus now I had a character who could be captured, and my main character had to rescue him. Much more exciting. Another thing is that everyone is the hero in their own story. Every character believes they're doing what's right based on their own experience and values. The alien that one character sees as a threat, another sees as a refugee needing help. I initially wrote my villain to be in it for himself. And while that's a good story, it will not draw the readers in as if he's doing what he thinks is best for his country. If your audience can see the villain in themselves, they are less likely to forget them. Next, nobody can write the story in your head but you. I had the idea for these books running through my head for at least a decade before I started writing them. I thought these stories were so obvious that someone else would write them first, but no one did. So during COVID, when I had nothing better to do, I started writing. My first book, if you want to call it that, was basically an outline of the whole story. Once I had published, I thought that I was done with it and could move on with life. But then someone offered to edit my book, and I found so much wrong, I had to break it down into smaller chunks and create a separate book for each character. Believe it or not, all feedback is good. It's not easy to take negative feedback personally. Almost every time I received feedback, I was angry for a week or two. They just don't understand my story, I thought. But then it hit me. That's because I didn't explain it well. Now when I get feedback, I appreciate it. I still might get annoyed for a minute or two, but most of the time, they have a point. This leads me to you can't please everyone. While all feedback is good, not all feedback is useful. Eventually, you're going to get conflicting feedback or their comments don't agree with your vision. It is important to at least consider their feedback, even when you think that they're wrong. Lastly, don't be afraid to rewrite. There were so many times that I had to rewrite my story, and sometimes it meant getting rid of one of my favorite scenes, but it's necessary. So, do you want to be an author or a screenwriter? Recently, I learned that once you give your screenplay away, it's not yours anymore. Even if you're able to direct your own story, an actor can't convincingly portray the characters the way you envision them. The actor has to play your character the way they understand them, or it won't be convincing. Steven Spielberg talked about when making The Fabelmans, a story loosely based on his own life, he found it difficult because he couldn't recreate the scenes as he remembered them. Actors have to put a little bit of themselves into the part. So I'm glad I wrote the books before the screenplays, because this way I was able to get those thoughts out so that the readers will know how I intended the story to go. Also, now an actor not only has the script, but can also read that character's book with all their thoughts. My character, General Frank Jones, is so dramatically different from the average person that my editor couldn't even understand him. So I don't think an actor could possibly play anything close to my vision of him without reading The Woundless War. Yes, the title tells you that he's got a lot of tough decisions to make. So I'm glad I wrote the book first. It's much easier to get help writing, and it costs much less. I'm Tony B. Richard. Thanks for watching.